Is this the deepest bench the Knicks have had in years? Thursday, they re-signed Landry Shamet, and Friday, they signed former Sixth Man of the Year Malcolm Brogdon to a one-year, non-guaranteed deal. So let's bring in Dexter Henry, host of New York Got Game, with his thoughts on the signing and the possible rotation. Dex, what's going on, my man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Feeling good. Knicks making some moves here the last couple of days, like you talked about. Basketball season's right around the corner. I'm good.
All right, let's talk about those moves because, again, they signed Shamet Thursday. Now Brogdon joins the squad. I read a tweet that said if the Knicks don't make a trade, then they're going to have to
Mm.
choose between those two. I love myself a little camp battle. So, two-part question. What do you think about the Brogdon signing? And two, who do you think gets that final roster spot out of the two of these guys?
Yeah, I like the signing. This is a guy who's been on the Knicks radar for a little bit. The Knicks had been looking for some backup point guard help. Our Stephen Bondi has reported that continuously throughout the summer, and it was going to be very interesting to see what they did with the final roster spot. Now, yesterday I talked to Steph, and at the end of the video, he mentioned the fact that they could offer some non-guaranteed deals. That is what has happened here with Landry Shamet and also with Malcolm Brogdon. But Malcolm Brogdon is a really good player as well as Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet, we know about the shooting, what he could do. He was with the Knicks. Malcolm Brogdon, former Sixth Man of the Year winner, former Rookie of the Year winner as well. Had a down year shooting the ball from three-point land last year, only 29%. But the previous 2 years, he had shot 43%. The thing with Malcolm Brogdon, Brandon, is as talented as a player is and a playmaker and shot creator, and he's a good backup point guard on your bench. He's now 32 years old. He has a lot of injury history. Only played 24 games last year, so that's a concern with him. Can he stay healthy? Shamet also had some injury stuff last year with the shoulder, but then came on strong, shot the ball very well at the end of the season, and even sparked the Knicks to a couple of wins in that conference finals against the Pacers. So I think what it comes down to answer your question, Brandon, about who could win this spot, it really depends on what the Knicks value. Is it Shamet shooting? And maybe a little bit more trusting his durability, or is it Brogdon and his playmaking? I tend to think they might lean a little bit more towards Brogdon because there's been that talk around the team that they're looking for another backup point guard. They're looking for somebody. If Jalen Brunson goes down, can he hold down the fort? You do have Jordan Clarkson. He's probably a little bit better suited off the ball. You do have Miles McBride. He's also better suited off the ball. So I think the edge goes to Brogdon. But the thing to also watch is something you mentioned from that tweet you saw from, I believe that was from Joran Weitzman, in which he talked about if the Knicks wanted to have both of these guys to make the roster, they would have to clear some space. And so you wonder, would they trade someone? I'm not reporting this, just putting this out there.
Mm-hmm.
Would they try to trade someone, one of the young players like a Tyler Kolek, to free up some more cap space to a team that can absorb his cap space, maybe take back like a second round pick or something like that, a late second round pick, and then be able to sign these two vets. So it's going to be interesting to see as these two battle it out. Do the Knicks value having more veteran bench depth here this year, or do they still want to keep their young players on the roster? They just hired Billy Lang to run their player development. Which one do they value more? But I think they value the point guard depth, so I might say Brogdon wins out, but a lot of this has to do with health and durability and how these guys play in training camp. And like you, Brandon, I love a good training camp battle. Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, man. Let's kind of go into a little bit more detail on that bench depth that you just mentioned. Leon Rose has been active this offseason. On paper, do you think that this is the deepest Knicks bench that you've seen in years?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I have to say yes. I mean, especially when you look at, I think some people will look at that 20, I'm trying to think, a couple years ago, 23-24 team. That team was really deep too. I think what this bench has is a little bit higher of a ceiling offensively. The Knicks bench was so bad last year offensively, especially in the playoffs. They struggled to provide any offense. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau did not go as deep into the bench, but now because of the depth that they have with a Gershon Yabusele, with a Jordan Clarkson, with a Deuce McBride, they can do a little bit more in terms of scoring and have more scoring punch. And so now you won't have as big of a drop off when you go from the starters to the bench. And so I think that they're as deep as they've been, maybe as deep as they were 2 years ago, where they can comfortably go nine deep and maybe even go 10 if you add a Shamet or a Brogdon, if Mike Brown chooses to do that. But I think the main thing here, Brandon, is the offensive ceiling for this bench is just a lot better, a lot higher, should be a lot more competitive. And the Knicks bench should be better than most other second units in this league. I have a little bit of concerns about the bench defensively, and we'll see how that all plays out. But offensively, I think this bench has as good as punch as anyone with Yabusele, Clarkson, Deuce McBride, and we'll see what happens with center. Do they play an Ariel Hukporti? But this bench has enough offensive punch. And if you add someone like Malcolm Brogdon, who's a professional scorer, professional playmaker, that only increases the depth of this bench, and the talent goes way up. So you got to like the Knicks bench right now if you're a fan. But depth is only as good as when you need it, and you need guys ready and you need talent. But they've got some talent on their bench right now.
Expectations are riding high, and I've learned don't get caught into the expectations when it comes to a New York-based team. You can get let down like real fast. So I mean, I like what I've seen so far. Very fast. All right, Dex, man, appreciate you hopping on with this, bro.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.